Do you think that sometimes there's a bit of over-dramatisation of what's going on with that player? Yes, of course, there's been some high-profile mistakes. We know, as Eni said, what's going on off the pitch. But sometimes, maybe like Robbie says, you do just want to get back on the pitch and play and do what you love. Yeah,
and to be fair to Maguire, he had actually been good against Belgium, particularly in the second half. And it was actually only after that game that Southgate was praising how this was a boost to his confidence. And so you could argue that maybe Wednesday was just a bit unfortunate, although the first tackle was uncharacteristically
I thought the second was a bit lucky.
Lucky in terms of...
Unlucky, the second one, I thought.
Yeah, the first one I thought was rash.
First one, I agree with you. Second, I thought was a little unlucky.
Yeah, and if you're kind of getting back to normal, then maybe he's unfortunate to be red carded, and maybe it's not quite as bad as it seems. But as you say, because of the context, any individual moment it looks worse than it might be.
Yeah. All right, then. Next, we can hear from Oliver from Zambia, who wants to talk about the manager.
Do you think Ole will survive, especially with all these rumours of Mauricio, if Manchester United doesn't get a result against Newcastle United?
Miguel.
Well, the rumours are that Pochettino has been approached. How true are they?
Not approached by the club, they're keen to say. I mean, there's a lot of talk that, there's been intermediaries involved. But ultimately, we know that Woodward has been for a long time been an admirer of Pochettino. In fact, going back to 2016, when they went for Mourinho, they considered Pochettino at the time. So regardless of any current contact, they like him. And if Solskjaer was to go, Pochettino probably one of the first they turn to. From what I've heard, Solskjaer isn't in any immediate danger. It's not like he's going from game to game. But the issue is that last result was so bad, and this run is so difficult, that if it continues, we could just have a situation where events take a life of their own and they push the button.
I think he is on borrowed time. And the reason I say that is because when you look at the last 2 seasons, Man United have been so inconsistent. I don't get it personally. The last season before, I think it was 17 games they went unbeaten, and finally it was like, right, he's got an impact on the team, he's getting them going, they're getting back to the heights they went before. He's got great players in the team. And now again, you've got another inconsistent patch. How long can he keep sort of dipping in and out of form? There comes a point where you've got to sort of have a consistent run towards a title challenge, towards the Champions League. And when you've got a manager like Pochettino available, it's just always hanging over your head. So I think he's under pressure. I think if there's not enough good results before Christmas, I think he'll go.
But you're right about the streaks as well, and I think that's why there's some way indicative. I mean, it's almost been... Solskjaer's 2 years at United have been completely characterised by these streaks of kind of wins in a row where they look brilliant, and in these sudden drop-offs, and they have elongated periods where they just look bad, which is happening right now. But they were in a situation similar to this last season where they actually lost to Newcastle, went on a bad run, and just when it felt like it could tip over, the players put in 2 massive performances for him, one beating Spurs at home, the other beating City away. And I think that would be the real tell, whether the players produce, I suppose, whether they're playing for him, whether they produce something similar in this run.
I've got to say, against Spurs, I was at the game, and as grassroots players, we learn work hard, desire, commitment, and I've got to say, defensively, it was pathetic. The game was summed up by Luke Shaw's challenge when he got booked late on. Wrong side. Did he really sprint back and try and make a proper challenge? When they were 6-1 down, I just thought that tackle summed up the whole of United's performance. Work hard, desire, commitment. Yeah. And that's a given for any footballer. And I thought on that day, the whole team, and people are easy to criticise Pogba. Paul Pogba was poor. No, Paul Pogba was poor. The whole team were poor once again. Pogba's challenge for the penalty. Pogba not tracking his runner back, Luke Shaw going inside. The whole team was so bad. But work hard, desire, commitment. You're a footballer. Be grateful.
How much then, Robbie, do you think that the game at St James's Park this weekend is
Massive.
actually more important to see the performance than, say, just get a 2-0 win, but it be a poor performance again?
It's massive for those players at the weekend and for the manager, because the manager will have to see his players working hard, desire, commitment, attitude. And that performance, even with 11 on the pitch, defensively they were a shambles. The goal, Bailly.
Which one?
The second one when Harry Kane got fouled on the halfway line. Harry Maguire stood in front of the ball. Bailly then just does this, Son is on his front foot. Bailly switches off.
Yeah.
Shaw was too late to come round.
When that many players are making that many individual errors, what's that? I mean, because that can't just be on the individuals. Then that points to something.
Well, was it a one-off? But you would say possibly not, because Crystal Palace and the Brighton. Listen, Brighton could have scored 7 against Manchester United. It's important now how they react this game. Liverpool conceded 7. How they react against Everton. United conceded 6. How they react now against Newcastle.
Well, even on that, like, I was told during the Palace game that the Palace players, even during the course of the game, sensed this is here for the taking. These are flat, and that just seems to be the vibe at United.
Do you think it's a case of the players thinking we need to play for a bigger manager? Do you think there might be a little bit of that as well? Because players are also aware that Pochettino's...
Does that happen in the dressing room though, Robbie?
But they had Jose. They had Jose.
Yeah.
I know they finished second, and Jose said it was one of his best seasons on 81 points, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they won the Europa League. But Jose, is no longer the Manchester United manager, and he's as big as they come.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So, I think it's within you. We've been footballers. It's your own self-pride.
Yeah, if you haven't got those things, you shouldn't be playing.
But there's an interesting thing there as well. I mean, when you talk about that kind of authority, when Solskjaer first got this job, he was big into all this talk of we pick players on form, not names, and big into stuff like about the kind of like wearing the blazers and all this. Whereas now it feels, I mean, the midfield, the balance doesn't look right, and it feels like he's got a big decision there that he hasn't yet made. So this is a test of him as well in the next few weeks. Would he make the hard decisions that he was supposed to have when he first came in?
Okay.